What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing, YouTube and Facebook family? It's your guy DeMarcus here with today's the beta project motivation video. And today is May 23rd, 2019. And today's video is titled The Seed, Part 1, The Seed Coat. And we're going to go into it. Let's start off with the quote: all the flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today. And that's how we're going to start our video, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and bring you online. What's going on? How are you? I hope you're doing well. So we're talking about seeds. Seeds are kind of important, very, very important actually. And there's some things I want to bring up about seeds that maybe you haven't thought about, because you actually have the ability to be one. No, you're not going to grow any corn or any tomatoes or maybe a great oak tree, but you have the ability to be a seed. And so seeds come in all different shapes and forms. For example, my friend Sarah gave me these. These are what they call seeds of happiness. Now these seeds they are actually being planted by giving people happiness, because you know when you receive this, it has an ability to cheer you up. But seeds have the ability, or have the possibility, of creating something. And I think that's an amazing piece that we need to kind of focus in on, because in all reality, without seeds, nothing survived, nothing is created. The seed in a human implanted into the seed of a man implanted into a woman creates life. The seed of a plant implanted into the ground creates another seed. I mean, it actually creates a plant that creates more seeds. It's a never-ending cycle. And so if you believe that you're not a seed, then you're not paying attention to your worth and your value. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to start off. I like to call them, they're called seed coats, ladies and gentlemen, but I call them the shell. But this right here, this is a seed. Can you see that? Can you see that? Boom. So that's a seed. And I've got like a whole bunch of them right here. I went out and bought these, and I kind of mad I did. After I started thinking about the possibility of what this means, I kind of went out and bought all these. So let me show you what these look like. So these are just regular corn. Can you see them? Regular corn seeds. You see them? And the reason that I'm using these as an example is because every seed inside of it has the ability to grow and to create something bigger than itself. This little tiny guy has the ability to make corn stalks that are 5, 6, 7 feet tall. Okay, corn that looks like this. That's what the package it came out of. Every seed has the possibility to create something much bigger than itself. And so what a seed needs, first of all, is the seed coat. Is actually the protection on the outside of a seed. Now, obviously, these are called kernels, but pretend they're, like this. I wanted to use this for a reason, and you'll see what I'm saying. So, the outside of a seed or outside of a kernel is called the seed coat. Why is that important? Because the seed coat protects the kernel from all the outside influences and all the outside extreme conditions that are going on, all the weather, the wind, maybe the birds, maybe the falling to the ground, because they know inside of this seed, they know the importance of what's inside. Without this seed, there is no plant. And so the possibility that this seed carries with it is infinite. It can create plants that create plants that create plants that create plants that create plants. But if the seed is destroyed if the inside of what is the seed, if the inside of it is destroyed, then it will never do so. So this is a very important situation, because the outside of this corn, if you guys listen, can you hear this? That's hard. It's not soft right now, because what happens is this falls to the ground. So this seed falls to the ground and it lays there and it dries out and it becomes hard and rough on the outside. But ironically enough, all it takes for this seed to become something that's of value is being put into water and planted inside of the ground. Put it into water. Now the water is all the things nutrients and things that it needs to bring it back to to accept what is necessary, to give of itself the piece of it that has been designed to give. So think of it like this. With you, there are outside influences all around you that are consistently bombarding you, whether it be TV, whether it be family, whether it be friends or lack thereof, enemies, whether it be lack of money or focus or worry or all these different things. The outside that are coming in, but the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, you don't realize that you have the ability, because you are a seed, you have the ability to block all that out. But a lot of us take all that outside influence on. Now imagine, for example, if the seed decided not to have this coat and it stayed soft and let the inside that is necessary to grow that plant, if it left it exposed, it would not live and it would not be able to plant. Now, one of the cool things about this, ladies and gentlemen, corn especially, I also read So we're talking about the seed coat, but now we're planting it in the ground, so it's been protected. That the plant that it's going to create, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be bigger than this. You get this? We have seeds, and we have seeds inside of shells, and I like to call them seed shells, but they're called seed coats. So the seed coat is designed to protect this, right? But the ironic part about it is that the seed coat is designed to protect it. But once the process has started for that seed to grow, it will outgrow its original seed coat. The plant inside, the possibility for the plant inside is much bigger than this tiny seed coat is protecting it. The inside of this thing has the ability to grow this massive plant, but it can't do that if it's damaged. But once a seed breaks out of its seed coat, ladies and gentlemen, the seed coat can no longer protect it. And as you grow and you go through your life, ladies and gentlemen, as you make yourself move to the next level, you will outgrow your seed coat. You will outgrow what is protecting you. You think about it, your mom and your dad is a great example of what your seed coat was, because most mom and dads, they protect you inside of their house. You don't have to pay all the bills. You don't have to pay the light. You don't have to pay the utilities. You don't have to pay the rent. Like I said, most, not all, most. So you're protected from the world as you grow. But eventually you will get big enough to where you can leave the nest, but then at that point in time, you outgrow what they call your seed coat. As you begin to go out into the world and start to grow and germinate and start to plant yourself into society and create your gift. Average person's not going to go out there and grow. They're not going to allow themselves, because I mean, getting outside of your seed coat, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be dark because you're planted in the ground. When you're planted, it's dark. And you have to remember that just because a lot of people see being planted as being death, because all they see is they're underneath the ground and they don't know how to get out. So all they see is death in this situation. But in all reality, a seed planted, it is actually being planted in the ground to start the growth process, right? So no seed will ever stay inside of its seed coat while it's ready, when it starts to grow. It will always outgrow that seed coat. So I want you to think about this, ladies and gentlemen. So every kernel of corn, or every corn stalk creates about, I think they said 2 to 4 corn, I don't even know what they're called, those things. These things, I can't think of what they're called. They create about 2 to 4 of those. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Every single one of those cobs, there it is, every single one of those cobs of corn, they create 800 kernels, 800 possibilities. This one seed right here creates 800 kernels of corn. So if you're a kernel and you're planted in the ground and you germinate and you allow yourself to receive your gift and allow yourself to step into your gift so you can bring your greatness to the world, you have the ability to plant to produce 1,600 to 3,200 other versions of you that are going to also produce more than what you produced. Because if each one of those 800 produced cobs, or 800 kernels on a cob, produce more, and they produce more, then all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, your one seed has now reproduced itself. And we see this all the time in societies, ladies and gentlemen. Your parents were the original kernel, which had before them their grandparents, which was the kernel before that. And every kernel produces after it, and the kernel after it is supposed to produce more, and it's supposed to produce more and more, until next thing you know, you have this huge situation to where everything around you is being grown by the seed that was inside of you. Something inside of this will produce hundreds of thousands of crops. This one seed will produce hundreds and thousands of crops that can be given at any point in time and planted in the ground to create something more. But first, the seed coat has protected. The second thing, it will outgrow its seed coat. Now, here's the third thing about corn that I found really interesting. I just found out about, ladies and gentlemen. When farmers plant corn, they don't plant one at a time. They plant like 3. There's about 3 of them right there. 1, 2, 3. They plant about 3 of them. Now, why is that important? Because you're not designed to do anything alone. You're designed to do things in groups. But the thing is, you have to have somebody on the same mission as you. So if you're planting 3 kernels of corn in the ground and 2 of them decide not to bloom, there's a possibility that you're not going to bloom either. That goes for corn, and that goes for real life, that you. So you got to watch what kind of people you're around, because if somebody's not germinating at the same time you're germinating, it could ruin what you're trying to produce. It could kill off the whole product of what you're trying to create. So you must be very aware of the kernels of corn that are next to you, the kernels of corn that are next to you. Are they willing to go through their germination? Are they ready? Have they been soaked with water to bring them back to life? Or are they still that dead, hard shell that's not going to produce anything? It's the water added to the seed coat that gets soaked inside the seed that tells it, okay, it's time to go. The videos you watch, the people you talk to, the audios you listen to, the books you read, the education you find, the conversations you have, all those positive things that you bring into your life help to soak you up. But here's the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, just as easy as all those great things soak you up, if you put too much TV in you, it could kill off your seed. So are you willing to put yourself in a situation where you can grow and take everything that you create and take it to the next level, make yourself massive, reproduce yourself in many different ways to make the cobs of corn that are here? Because every cob of corn needs a seed to start it. It can't start without it. And I was listening to E.T. today, and what he said is, he said, some people are not where they want to be, and some people are stuck where they are because you didn't get through your dream. You didn't step forward. So some people are sitting at home depressed because DeMarcus Tunstall did not step up into his dream. DeMarcus Tunstall did not take hold of what is making him great and put it out into the universe. So because of that, somebody else wasn't able to give theirs. And I cannot live with that. And that's all I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen. Are you willing to live with the situation that because you're not stepping up in your dream and giving everything that you have and giving of yourself what is inside of you that you've always known that is there, but you've been too scared to step out, and so you can't create the next kernel, stalk of corn that is going to produce something that changes the world, but it all starts with you? Or are you going to be an anecdote that somebody talks about, like, yeah, I knew her. She wasn't worth anything. He wasn't worth anything. Ladies and gentlemen, we always have a choice on whether or not we're going to produce in this world. We always have a choice on whether or not we're going to give to this world. We have a choice on whether or not we're going to step up and allow ourselves to be utilized by the world. But we also have that same choice to sit on our couches and be lazy, to watch Friends, to watch the news, to watch Whose Line Is It Anyway, to watch Chicago PD. We have that same ability to get on the telephone with our friends for hours and just gossip and gossip and gossip about somebody else. Because at that point in time, ladies and gentlemen, you're not planting seeds that are going to yield great fruit. You're planting seeds of death because you're actually destroying somebody else. And you got another person who's also doing the same to you, and you're not going to grow that way. It's time for us to step up. It's time for us to plant ourselves and outgrow our seed coat, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for us to not be protected by our seed coat because we're not big there. It's when we get planted and we grow outside of our seed coat, the seed coat that is protecting us, that is when we start to win. And that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. And let me make sure, because I had a whole lot. It was a whole big old thing on corn. I don't know why corn became, it was supposed to be seeds as a whole, but corn ended up being the big deal. So for a seed to grow, it must first shed outside of its seed coat. It is only through the process that it can grow to amazing heights. This corn right here will be 5 feet tall, and yet right now it is less than an inch. Do you get what I'm saying? The power that this seed has, ladies and gentlemen, has not been seen, but it will not ever show its power if it stays in this form. It has to move. It has to grow. It has to become more. Otherwise, it will never be seen by anybody else. But if it stays in its shell or as a seed coat, it will never become anything more than a seed, ladies and gentlemen. It'll end up being a seed forever. And the shell that protects it, it will always have to outgrow it. There's going to be a point where this seed is going to outgrow its seed coat, and it's going to be sitting there vulnerable. It could be very easily destroyed by anything. But if it's not destroyed, if it doesn't allow itself to be destroyed, if outside influences don't destroy it, that's why you plant it deep, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you plant seeds deep, because you don't want someone like coming up and digging it up. Your raccoon friends that are going to dig it up. Your bunny friends are going to dig it up. You plant a corn seed deep, so that when it starts to go and grow outside of its shell and it's naked and it's growing to its heights and it's putting out the best parts of the things that are inside of it, it is safe until it gets to the point where it starts to grow and become awesome. You are a seed. You are a kernel of corn. You are everything. Everything lies in you. But you have to step out of side of your seed coat. You have to step outside what's comfortable. That seed coat right now, this thing is super comfortable. What's inside of it's not moving. What's inside of it's not moving. Everything is just sitting there waiting. What's inside you waiting, ladies and gentlemen? What inside you needs to be given to the world? That's what I need you to think about. There's greatness inside you. There's greatness inside every seed. You are a seed. Therefore, there's greatness in you. Every small little acorn grows into a tree. But if that acorn doesn't shed its hard exterior, the tree will never be formed. And the same with you. You've got to be able to shed. Let yourself be vulnerable for a little bit. The cool thing is, ladies and gentlemen, it's just like any corn seed. You don't have to go at it alone. You've got some more people that are in there doing the same thing you are, about to give their best life, to receive their best life, to grow something that's going to change the world. And that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. And tomorrow we'll finish talking about seeds. And I appreciate you being here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I believe and I love in each and every single one of you. And I just want you to remember, don't ever quit right here. Don't ever quit. Because what's inside you is so necessary. No one else can do it but you. All the things that you've been through, all the things that you've seen, all the downs that you've seen, all the ups that you've seen, all the lefts, all the rights, everything that you've gotten in your life to this point is going to create something massive if you let it. And that's all I have for you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.